Hello, everyone. It's another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. So apparently an article from the Washington Post states that biological males competing with biological females in sports is actually a good thing. Why? Because it teaches, according to the writer of this article, it teaches young women how to lose, quote, lose gracefully. You heard that. According to this writer of this article, biological males competing with biological females in sports and the biological female losing would actually teach her how to lose gracefully. This is supposed to be a lesson that she's learning. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read just a small portion of this article, and let's understand where this person's argument is coming from. Because clearly I don't agree with most of what this person is saying. But let's get right into this article. And it starts off with, an op-ed in the Washington Post has argued that men and women's sports could actually be a good thing for young girls by teaching them the art of losing gracefully. According to Alicia Rosenberg, the aim of school athletics is not to teach children the art of achieving excellence, but rather to build character. And what better way to build character in a teenage girl than having her experience the frustration of losing that championship title to a biological male? Now, let's look at the logic of this. If this is what this person really is actually saying, I mean, does this make any sense to anyone in any way? She says that the aim of school athletics is not to teach children the art of achieving excellence, but rather to build character. Now, that point there, I, to some extent, agree that the aim of school athletics isn't just to teach young people how to achieve excellence, but it's also to build character. That part I agree with. And the reason why I agree with that part, because my 17-year-old son, highly disciplined, he plays basketball. He wants to be in the NBA. And every time he gets off from work, he goes to school and he get out of school and then he goes to work sometimes. And then sometimes he goes to basketball practice. So he's constantly staying busy and he's very well disciplined. I can see the discipline in him. So I see it builds character. So in that sense, I agree with Alicia Rosenberg that it builds character. Okay, it's supposed to build character, not just teach children the art of achieving excellence. But here's the part that I have a problem with when she says, and what better way to build character in a teenage girl than having her experience the frustration of losing the championship title to a biological male? She goes on to say her argument, well, the article goes on to say her argument largely hinges on the unicorn of, quote, sports crazed parents. I don't know what this term unicorn means, but the writer of this article here, and Breitbart names it that. I'm not familiar with that term, but in any way, says her argument largely hinges on the unicorn of, quote, sports crazed parents who will theoretically use transgender athletes in women's sports as an excuse in the event their daughter loses. That I totally disagree with, because here's the deal. In the way I see it, if these young teenage girls are competing against, they learn to compete against someone who is a biological male, but posing as a female, they will know more than likely, even if he or she, whatever way you want to put it, doesn't say that they are, they will more than likely be able to visibly see that that's a biological male. Why? Because usually the bone structures is thicker. Usually the shoulders are broader. You can tell and look at Leah Thomas. You can look at him and tell. And yes, I said him. I ain't saying her. You can look at him and tell that that is a biological male. This, in my opinion, does not teach young girls to lose gracefully. What it does to biological males in sports, what it will teach them is how to persevere in the face of idiocy. That's what it will teach them how to do, to say, well, you know what? Don't give up. You have what it takes to be successful in sports, and don't give up. That's what it teaches them how to do. Don't give up. But The argument of Alyssa Rosenberg, it says, is basically, what better way to build character in a teenage girl than having her experience the frustration of losing the championship title to a biological male? Why not just teach her character, build character in her by losing to a biological female? Why a biological male? Why do you feel that that's the best way to build character in this young girl, by having her lose to a biological male, which 9 times out of 10, he's going to have an advantage over her and he's going to win over her anyway? How is that teaching her character? Or how is that the best way to teach her character, according to Alicia Rosenberg? That's her argument. I totally disagree with that argument. It's the premise is foolish, because why not just have these young girls compete with other young girls and lose to them and teach them character? It happens all the time. When they actually, when we watch sports events, whether it's them young ladies running against other young ladies or swimming or whatever, okay, do all of them win? No, all of them don't win, do they? There's only a few that wins, whether it be first place, second place, or third place, right? So what does that teach? It teaches those who lost to lose gracefully. But how can you lose gracefully against someone who has a biological advantage over you? Now, somebody may argue and say, well, if they're taking hormone pills, it lessens the physical strength in their body. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, that may be the case, but still, you're a biological male. You're a biological male by due to the fact that you got to take hormone pills to lessen your muscle mass. If you was really a female, then and you want to be this female, then why just act it, dress up like it, and act like it? You don't need to get no hormone shots to lessen your muscle mass. Just be. You claim to be. Just be. What I believe, and I'll stick to this opinion, that a vast majority of these men, transgender men, that want to compete with females in female sports is because they're sore losers. They have funky records in the men's sports division, and they figure, well, let me take advantage of this transgender thing where these groups and these organizations are giving us the so-called right to compete against females. Let me take advantage of that and win against these females and feel good about myself. You about as fake as a box of soggy cornflakes. Come on, man. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. So no, I don't believe at all that this teaches these young kids these young girls to lose gracefully. Let them lose gracefully by competing against biological females, because they lose gracefully with biological females in the actual sports events all the time. So why would you teach this idea? What better way to teach them to deal with the experience of frustration of losing the championship to a biological male? There's a better way, Miss Alicia Rosenberg. There's a better way. Let them compete against biological females and lose against them, and then the coaches, whoever, teach them how to have integrity to lose gracefully. All you're doing in the summation of this video is all this individual is doing is promoting and trying to normalize this idea of transgenderism, which is what the radical left wants to do. They want to normalize this craziness, but it is not normal. It's unnatural. Period. Bottom line, it's unnatural, because if it was normal, then why would you have to take hormone pills? Or hormone injection shots, rather. Give me hormone pills or hormone, whatever. But why would you have to get injections if it's normal? Come on, man. Come on. If it's normal, you don't have to do that. It would just be natural. That's what I think about it. I think this is a bunch of nonsense, and this lady don't know what she's talking about at all. She has no clue what she's talking about. So that's what I think about that. What do you guys think about this? I mean, what do you think? You think that this teaches these young girls how to go up against a biological male and lose against them? It teaches them how to lose gracefully? That this teaches them to build character? The only character that is going to build in the minds, the way I see it, of these young girls is don't give up. And as the article, you can read the rest of the article in the description box below. The article goes on to talk about how that it teaches these young girls how to persevere and how to be, on top of their game and once again, how to build character. But also, in the ending of this video, this lady also says that teaching these young girls to disagree with transgender males wanting to compete with biological females teaches them to vilify these athletes, to vilify them and hate them. I don't think that's the case at all. It is not teaching them to vilify anybody. First of all, that sounds like a classic Marxist ideology where the Marxists come in and create division where there is no division. So if that does cause them to start hating these transgender males, it's because that's, in my opinion, a Marxist move to cause division in every institution in order to destroy it and rebuild it again to a communist institution. That's the other part. The other part is it does not teach them to vilify these individuals. It's first of all, for years and years and years, it's always been men competing against men and women against women. Why do you think is that? Now, all of a sudden, some new revelation comes out and says, oh, you know what? These men these transgender men who want to basically compete with biological females, they should be allowed to do that. There's some kind of deep revelation now. We're more educated now. No, I think we're dissolving in our education. This is the normalization of lifestyles that are not normal, or the attempt to normalize lifestyles and ideologies that are not normal and not natural. So I just wanted to end the video on that note. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all, and see you again.